been thinking about launching a podcast, but the tools and the tech overwhelm you, you're going to want to listen to today's episode. Welcome to Rocky Mountain Marketing. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Join us as we dive deep with the world's leading digital marketing experts every single Tuesday. It's all about giving you the strategies that are working right now, directly from those who are making an impact. With my 20 years of experience, I'm here to help you navigate the world of digital marketing. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills or transform your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started on today's journey to success. What if I told you that there is a tool out there that is going to completely change the way you think about podcasting? Now, you all know here at Next Step Social, we offer turnkey podcast production and social media management. But what if you want to do it yourself and you're not at the phase for your business yet to have a team like mine step in and help you? Well, you are going to love today's episode because I'm sitting down with my good friend, Jeff C. He is the chief beard, and he is going to talk to us all about this incredible tool that is, honestly, it's changed the way that we do business, and I know it will be a huge help for you. If you think that having a podcast is just going to be a giant time suck, well, this tool that we're going to talk about today is absolutely going to change the game for you and your podcast production. So Jeff, thank you so much for joining me on Rocky Mountain Marketing today.
This is fun. I always love being on your show. I love how you run your show, your episodes, and your social media, all that stuff, Katie. So thank you so much for having me on.
Well, of course, yes. And like I said, we've gotten to hang out a few times in real life at different events, and you're such a great guy. And I know that what you've done with the social media live show, you don't batch your content creation for that. We've actually had conversations about this before because I batch my content. You know, this we're recording right now, and it's going to come out, and it's going to come out in a couple of weeks from the time everyone hears it. And you've gone the live route, which is amazing. But I think that with having a live show, and I think that a lot of people are missing this with the live show of how you can repurpose it numerous ways for your future content. I think that with live shows, they think, okay, well, I went live and that's that.
Right. Yeah. And I think what people do is they move on too quick. Like they're on to the next, okay, I got the next episode. I got to schedule the next guest. I got to move on really, really quickly. And we never squeeze all the juice out of that content. And with the algorithms today, and I'm pretty sure we talked about this in the last show, that it's hard to get your stuff out in front of everybody. So that's why I love repurposing. Yeah. The other thing, we're talking about AI and tools and kind of workflows today. One of the things, all this talk about AI, coming to take our jobs. I know a lot of people are worried about it. And, there's this really struggle with that. And one of the things that excites me the most about what we do, like you mentioned the live show and how much I love the live show because I can have comments and interact with people. And with you, your podcast, I mean, it's your voice, it's your thoughts, it's you interviewing the guests. One of the things that I have thought about the live video and this AI stuff is like, our jobs are pretty safe. There's still not a way for AI to come and like know the guest. Like Gary Stockton comes on my show. I know Gary. I know he's a musician. I know he does this stuff. He's coming to my show for almost 3 years, and they're not going to be able to. AI is not going to be able to interact that way. A podcast, being in somebody's ear, you're going to be able to tell if that's an artificial voice or if that's not really Katie talking to you about what she's learned about marketing this week. So those jobs, I think, are really, really safe, and that's why I'm so excited about podcasting and live video and all that kind of stuff that AI can't fake, but we can use AI to help us do our jobs better and give us more time to do the things we love, which is podcasting and live video and all the stuff that goes with that.
Well, and Jeff, with what you're saying, 2023 was definitely the year that AI changed the game.
It's crazy.
It was not just a fad. I feel like it's here to stay. I use ChatGPT, Claude, numerous AI tools every single day. And I can't imagine not using them. I use it as that tool, not to replace me, but to help me. And with all of these tools coming out, and we can deep fake ourselves. We can clone ourselves. We can clone our voices. I mean, I remember seeing on the news recently that there's people that are cloning voices and using them, one for podcasts, but then like there's always bad guys out there that have to ruin
Right.
things for everyone.
Right.
So I think that with what you're doing with having a live show is really the only true form of content creation we're going to see going forward, because you can't replicate, like you just talked over me a
Right.
little bit, and that you can't replicate that.
Right. Exactly. It would be really hard for them to do. And I think that even podcasting, though, I mean, so I just spoke at Momentum a couple months ago, which is Lou Mangello's big event in Florida. And I was able, and I talked about AI and AI tools and workflows. And one of the things is with just 1 minute, I was able to take his podcast, get his voice, and he was also on my show. So I got the voice from that as well, and cloned his voice almost perfectly with his inflections and everything. And he introduced me and I said, "Oh, that wasn't very good, Lou. Let me do my version." And then I played it and it was Lou introducing me and it was over the top, like Jeff's so good looking, da da da. But it was really funny, but it was also really scary. But you could tell it was still, if you listen to it really carefully, for like the people who were listening to his show every week, that it wasn't Lou. There were some things that were off about it. I think podcasting is good. Live video, for sure, not, because that interaction, like you were talking about, being able to call in, knowing like inside jokes from your community, which I think is something that companies and businesses really need to think about, because you can't fake it. And one of the things, I know we talk about blogging and there's social posts and all that stuff. I think as we go forward with this AI journey is that people are going to kind of not trust as much the written word, because it'll be like,
100%.
did like that email come from Katie, or is it really an AI, or is this social post, is this really from, and then, but they will trust video. And so I think companies really, if they're forward thinking, are going to lean into like, okay, how can I do, it doesn't have to be a huge production, but how can I do maybe a live, reel where I'm talking and it's me and you can tell where I'm at behind the scenes, that kind of thing. I think we're going to have to lean in more and more to that. And I know a lot of people don't like video, but I think that transparency and authenticity that goes with that is going to be super important.
You talk about just even going like a short form video. We're not talking about I mean, if
Right.
nobody watches the Social Media News Live, it is a fantastic show.
Right.
You really put a lot of great effort into it. And I feel like I'm sitting, like on CNN. You have a great production that you put together
Thank
for
you.
it, Jeff. But I think that it doesn't need to be that. It doesn't
No.
need to be a huge production for showing personal, the people side
Right.
of your
Right.
business. And
Yeah. And
big or small, you're going to have somebody step into being the face of your business, I feel, in this world of AI.
yeah, I think that's going to be more and more important. Now, you can use AI, like you had talked about ChatGPT, and I use that as well. The stuff that you don't like to do, like I would always dread Thursday and then Friday morning writing those emails to tell people about my show, and then the social posts and all that kind of stuff. That's like, ugh. Yeah, I can do that now. It can take your voice, so it gives me more time to think of great questions. It gives me that freedom where I don't have to dread that time where I'd have to write that stuff or put that together. And now I can focus on making my show better. Who can I get for guests? How can I repurpose quicker and better and easier? And so I can have more clips that can go out that can drive people to my show and tell them about it. So I think, like you were saying, is that the tools, think of it as a tool and not as something that's going to take my job. I heard a great quote the other day of somebody said, like, AI is not coming to take your job. The guy who's using AI is going to take your job. So I thought that was a really good quote.
Oh, yeah.
From that, because I just think it's a tool that you're going to have to learn how to use, because it's going to be everywhere.
I think so too. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens to social media going forward, because if we're having AI, write our social posts. I mean, I wrote a post on Facebook it was a few months ago now, that said, the dead giveaway for me, emojis have been ruined forever because of ChatGPT. Like,
Yeah, they do.
I can't. Emojis are ruined because I'm like, oh, ChatGPT just wrote this and somebody copy and pasted it in here.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're having ChatGPT write our social media posts. It's just going to, I'm sure that it probably is a tool out there already, as some sort of plugin that can respond to people's posts with AI, where it automatically will respond to people. What do you think is going to happen to social media? Do you think, I can't imagine Mark Zuckerberg or Elon or any of these guys being like, okay, well, we'll just have AI talk to AI all day. I mean, we're going to have to find some way to still
Yeah.
be social on these platforms.
I think it's gonna. There's got to be a. I don't know if there's going to come out with watermarking or some sort of way that you will be able to really tell that somebody is answering it. I mean, part of it is like, if it's giving information, like for a big company, it's like, okay, where are your locations, and you have a chatbot kind of answer it. That's one thing. But like responding to like really specific questions, even now, some of the big ones, they'll put their name dash Katie, that will say that, okay, this is who's answering your question. It's a real person. Maybe there's going to be some way that will happen with that. But or maybe if to be forward thinking is like, I would answer with a video. I think like if you have a small business and let's say you're a florist and somebody's responding like, hey, what kind of arrangements do you have for a wedding, a small wedding venue that's I need to have in like a week? And you just responded with walking through your shop going, hey, we've got this one and this one and this one. That is going to be way more powerful than somebody going, here's a chatbot answering, oh, here's a list of our catalog, here's a PDF. But if you take that little bit of time and walk them through it, and you could repurpose that video for somebody else too, but that little step, I think, is what's going to take businesses to the next level in social. Because you're right, I think there's going to be all these chatbots, and are they really answering me? And then you'll get in that circle where it can't answer it, and like, oh, this was a fake person, it wasn't really a person, which I think will look kind of negative on your company if you have some of that kind of thing happen, and it's already started.
It is, and I've noticed too that a lot of the bigger companies will sign off with who's answering,
Right.
which I think is smart. But I love
Mhm.
your idea of walking through your
I,
shop or answering the question, be like, "Hey, okay, well, this is what we have," and that
I
you
think
can take that
proof.
video and use it again. You could repurpose it.
And even audio, if you don't want to be on camera, I think even that audio thing, if you're actually using their name and like giving them a voice message back that they could tell, I think it's going to be, we're going to have to really look and it's like, okay, how can we prove we're authentic in our responses? Like
Isn't that
what
sad
extra
though?
little mile we have to do to go.
I feel like that's kind of sad that we have to
I know.
prove that.
I think it's going to, I think that's the only way to happen because it's getting really, really hard, like to tell the difference
It
even now.
is.
Just think of
It
from a year
is.
from now, what's going to be.
Well, I mean, I
So,
thought that, yeah, and I think that it's amazing just how far we've come with our video editing options on our phones and
mhm,
all these. It's incredible where we can
mhm.
do like some of the stuff that we can do in Reels now, like in the Instagram
Yeah.
app.
Well, so I started back. I think I started with Premiere, the two. Like I've been editing video forever. Yeah, I'm ancient. And one of the things that blows my mind is how editing has changed completely. Like you mentioned Descript before, and we
Yeah.
both use Descript almost exclusively for stuff. And so anything now, like as soon as my Friday show is done, as soon as I hit click in broadcast, it goes to Descript. And what it does, if you guys aren't familiar with Descript, is that it actually takes my show and automatically generates a transcript with it. And then I can edit that transcript like I would a Google Doc or a Word doc, and it makes those changes in my audio and my video. So if I want to take a clip out, I can just highlight that and hit a button and it clips it out, and I can use that and repurpose it. So things have changed so much in just a year on how people edit video. It's just going to be amazing to see how what other tools will come out of this. Like Descript already now inside of it has an AI tool where I can say, I have Katie on my show, we talk about something, and I say, hey, create me timestamps and a breakdown for my, show notes. Brrr, it's done. I'm using now I'm creating a course on Descript, and one of the things I'm doing is I'm doing it all in Descript, doing my screen captures and everything. And one of the things is I kind of have a script that I go off of. Descript has this thing where it has a AI that will make my eyes look like it's looking at the camera,
Yes,
and
which
it
I need
and it
help
does
with.
a great
Yeah.
job doing it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this is making course creation so much easier.
Yeah.
So all these tools that I mean, it's been really hard putting this course together for Descript because it changed. They're coming out with new features all the time. But I just think that if you're a creative and you think how you can use this as a tool, it is so exciting right now. The things that you can do that you were never able to do this quickly before.
Let's take a quick break. I have to tell you about something that I'm super excited about. If you've been podcasting for a while and you want to start actually making money from your show, you are going to love this. I have an upcoming masterclass where I'm going to teach you exactly how to land top paying sponsors, even if you have a small but loyal audience. It is time to stop waiting for sponsors to knock on your door and start reaching out to the ones that really want your audience. Ready to make it happen? Head to katiebrinkley.live/RMM or head to the link in the show notes. Grab your spot today. All right, let's get back to the show. I wanted to actually talk about some tools, and I want to dive into Descript because it is one of my favorite tools. I'm still learning it because I
Mhm.
feel like every time I'm like, okay, I have a grip on this thing, then there's a
They
new
do
update. And
changes. Yeah, yeah.
but
Every day.
well,
Yeah.
so for somebody that's not just a straight content creator, if somebody's a
Mhm.
business owner, a realtor, somebody, a lawyer, and they're trying to start like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I need to start just creating
Mhm.
a video or a live
Right.
stream or something so that I can repurpose it. What are some of your favorite AI tools that they can use to make the content creation and the repurposing process even easier?
So I'll kind of break down kind of my workflow and this has changed a little bit with some of these new tools that come out. So, I record everything in Ecamm. And one of the things with Ecamm is that I'm able to do is because I'm on Mac Silicone and I'm a Mac user, what it does is lets me create separate audio tracks when I'm done with my show and also separate video tracks now, which is key for making things really, really easy to repurpose. So as soon as I'm done, I upload those to Descript and I upload those separate video tracks so I can repurpose those later, and you can combine them into Script. It's really, really easy. So you have one kind of composition that you can edit. So once that's done is I go and find the clips that I want to repurpose, and then I can actually take those and make them horizontal because I can switch between cameras. I can make them vertical. I can make them any format that I need. So if I need to make reels out of that, I can do that right there as well. If I need to make a longer YouTube type video, I can do that as well. Your captions are already there
Yeah.
because you don't have to upload it to a third party thing anymore, which was a big time saver. You didn't have to go to Capture or Headliner or any of those things. So that's done. I have my stuff repurposed. I got the captions on it. Okay, I'm done. The thing is with like show notes is I can take now my entire transcript because once again, Descript made that entire thing a document that I can use. I can export that. I can upload that to ChatGPT, which now with the new updates, before I was having to use a splitter because an hour transcript was too long to put in ChatGPT. So I was using Claude and all this other stuff. Now ChatGPT can ingest that much information. So now I can have it create show notes. I make it create emails. I do Amazon videos. It creates my scripts for Amazon videos. I mean, all these things now you can do inside of ChatGPT. It can research guests. One of the great examples that I use is that, so I had Chris Stone and Jim Fuse from the Dealcasters on my show. And I said, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? Well, Jim said one thing, Chris said another. And I'm like, oh, crap. Okay, what do I do? So I said, hey, ChatGPT, here's what Chris wants to talk about. Here's what Jim wants to talk about. Combine that into a show with 5 questions for 3 sections each, but don't overlap. And it did it. And so stuff like that is just making content creation so much easier. The other thing we do to create content that will go on my website is I use Midjourney. Now you can use Dolly, which is built into ChatGPT if you're paying for it. It's creating all my images. And it's so I don't know about you, Katie, but it used to be, and this was for making presentations as well. Whenever I'd make a presentation, I'm like, okay, I was trying to find a stock photo that kind of fits into what I was talking about, that kind of I pigeonhole into the slide because I wanted to put this point across. Now it's whatever you think of for a presentation or a blog post image, you can make. And it's so creative and freeing to try to not to have to go through, Shutterstock or wherever to find an image that will kind of work that maybe somebody else used. Now everything I create is original on my website. So it's so cool. I just love all these little things that you can use now to actually put your content out
Oh
quickly.
yeah. Yeah. And I love that you brought up the whole Dolly addition to
Right.
ChatGPT. And that's something that I've
Yeah.
been playing around with a little bit because
Mhm.
because it used to just be in
Discord. Yeah. So
Discord.
Midjourney was
Yeah.
you still have to use it. They're coming out with it, so it's on the website. But so Dolly 3 is great. It actually can do texts now, which is you can actually get some text things. Midjourney I think creates better images like of people and some other things like that. So I'm a nerd, so I have both of them. So I like to the image stuff is so much fun.
It is. It's really cool. This is where we're at a time right now where there's people that have been playing around with it longer than others, but
Mhm.
we're all still learning this.
Yeah, we're all the same level. Yeah.
We are. And I think that if you have 30 minutes on your lunch break while you're eating your sandwich, whatever, play around with these tools. Play around
Yeah.
with how you can because I think that a lot of people don't even know all the possibilities that are out there.
And there's
Like I
tons of YouTube videos. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean whether it's Midjourney or Dolly, and it's DALL dash E, not like Dolly Parton, but but I think that play around with them and it's fun to see like, oh, okay, so if I do this, then this happens. Or
Hmm.
take some of the information off of these different reports, or like I've started running my reports through
Oh
ChatGPT
yeah.
and saying like, okay, let's look at this for this year versus last year at this time. What are your
Hmm.
biggest takeaways? There's Have it be that assistant for you to help you provide a better outcome for your clients or for your customers.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we also be transparent as like social media professionals, and like I would tell them like, hey, I'm using ChatGPT to do this, or I'm
Yeah.
using this image is created from ChatGPT, because you don't want to act like, hey, this is all me. I know some people in our industry who have struggled with, people have said, hey, listen, I'm not going to use you. I'm going to use ChatGPT instead.
Hmm.
And what you need to come back with is like, okay, we use ChatGPT, but you still have to have the prompts to create things. Like
Yes.
if you want to bring this in house, it's going to be hard for you if you don't understand this to automatically know what you need for social media, because it's not there yet where you can just say, "Hey, ChatGPT, I'm a chocolate factory.
Yeah.
Do my social."
Yeah.
You still can't do that yet. So there's still, and you have to understand the algorithms and when to post and what type of posts work on other platforms. So I still think that's needed as social media professionals, but just be transparent. Like, we're using this because we're actually putting your reports in and we get better reports that we get to give you, but you
Hmm.
don't know how to put, that stuff in. You don't even know what report to grab. So that's why you still need us. So I
Yeah.
think there is going to be some education of your clients, but I think in the long run, it's going to be beneficial for you both.
I think that too, AI, there is, like you said, the workflow.
Hmm.
And for people that are just getting started with live video, which I'm right there with you, I think this is going to be
Hmm.
the one true way to show up on social going forward, is with live video and putting yourself out there and your
Right.
business out there. I think that use it as, here's the brainstorming part. ChatGPT can help. You have
Right.
to go live. You have to be the one showing up on camera. And then there's tools like Descript that
Hmm.
have amazing capabilities to make it so much easier on you
Right.
for the rest of the process, so that you can focus on the other aspects of your business. Not everybody online, wants to just be creating content all day, but if you
Right. Right.
use these tools to help you create the live video, you're you have an abundance of content
Hmm.
going forward. And Descript, like you said, it has the super easy editing for podcasting and
Right.
video. You said show notes, short form video in there. I think that with Descript, it's so easy for anybody to take what they have and be online with their face. There's no
Yeah.
excuse.
Yeah, and like you said, there's some people who just won't do it. They don't like to get out front of them. They want to be in their factory or their business. They want to be in the restaurant making the food, and they don't really want to have time for that. I think you're still going to have somebody, like you mentioned earlier, Katie, to be the face of your company. If it's going to be an employee, if it's going to be someone else that you hire to do that, you're going to have to create that real person content, and be creative. Like, if you're struggling with stuff, you can ask ChatGPT to help you with this stuff. It really is like this personal assistant. I have a friend who does a lot of great video. He's a Disney guy, and he has an incredible YouTube channel, and he has a constant chat that he's trained. He's like to be like Steven Spielberg, so he'll enter his shots and like what he wants to do, and it'll give him ideas for stuff that he hasn't shot before, or better ways to do it. So use it as a way. Like, I would tell it, like, I hate being on video. what can I do to help promote my business in an authentic way that has a voice and a real person behind it, and see what it says. And it may give you some ideas to springboard to do something else. I mean, I'm using it kind of that way all the time, like asking it questions like, how do I launch an ebook? What's the best way to do it? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like a great brainstorming session. Now, it's stupid about some things, and you have to keep asking it questions and keeping it focused, but it's something that we've never had before to help us create and be more creative. And so I just think it's so exciting.
It is. It's exciting times that we're living in right now. And I know we've talked about, live video, AI, and we've talked about Descript a lot in this episode. I know you have your course. My assistant, Racy, she's gone through it. It's been amazing. Like I said, we use it for this podcast. And I try to do very limited, minimal editing on my shows. But I mean, my quick casts, I'd record an intro, and, there's times where I say, a lot, or I forget what I'm saying. And she can just pop in there and just highlight it and erase it. She gets all of our clips from there. It's an incredible tool. So talk to us just a little bit about your course and why Descript is the editing tool that you really have embraced for your show. I know why I embraced it for mine, but I mean, why you're so gung-ho on it.
Because it just makes it so much easier, especially for repurposing but even creating content. Like I am a producer for Guy Kawasaki's podcast. I do all his editing for him, and we use it for the entire thing. Like that has everything in it. That's what we edit in, and we change things. One of the things that's really helpful, and a couple of new things that have come out to Script. They have this thing called Regenerate, and I don't know if you played with this yet or not, but if I drop a word or mispronounce something, I could just put a cut in that and type it out, and it will fix it and say it in my voice. It's freaky, but it is so cool for an editor because it fixes so many mistakes. If there's a dog bark or I bang my microphone, I can split it right there and it will take it out.
Yeah.
And it's like magic for editors. So that's one of the cool things. It just really, it just makes it's kind of overwhelming when you first open it because it's a new tool. You've got a script in the middle. You've got all these other things. And so my goal for this course was to make it super easy. I try not to use big words. I think about, okay, how can I really explain this in a way that can get it across so people can use it? My whole goal is to, at the end of the course, is that people will be able to have a template and just be able to click a button and it will apply it to their clips to repurpose. That's what I do. We have everything. If you ever see any of my stuff go through the feed, it's got a very specific look. It's got a title. It's got the transcripts down below it. I do all that in Descript, and I click one button when after I kind of highlight what I want to say or have on that clip, hit a button, and it's done, and I can export it. And I want to teach you guys how to do that. And so that's why I created that course.
Well, the template thing, that was definitely the coolest thing that I learned about. There's so many things that you can do with Descript that I had and just full transparency, Jeff and I do not work for Descript. It is just a tool both of us love. Jeff has made an amazing course on it. I learned so much from it because I was just, every time I opened it up, I was like, okay, I understand this. And then there was a new feature and so if you're afraid of how you're going to show up, if this editing thing is one of the things that's holding you back, like, I don't know how to edit video, like this, there's no excuses when you use a tool like Descript. So
it's so easy. It's so easy.
So if people want to, they say, okay, I'm doing more live stream. I'll go live and I'm going to repurpose these videos into short form videos, into, podcasts, whatever. How do I use Descript? Show me your course, Jeff, because this sounds like an amazing way to use that, to stay committed.
And the other thing is, you can't go live in Descript. It doesn't. They have a thing called Squadcast where you can actually do interviews like Katie and I are doing and broadcast that later. But you can actually record right in Descript, and you can actually write your script out, look at that, and then say it to Descript, and you can help edit right in there. So it's kind of an all-in-one editing thing. But yeah, to find my course, I've got a couple things. If you go to jeffc.com, that's JEFF, S as in Sam, IEH, I before E, especially in C. That's how my mom made me memorize it. And jeffc.com/tools. That'll give you some of the tools that we've talked about today, AI tools, the scripts in there, all those. But if you want to learn about the course, it's jeffc.com/Descript 101. So it's Descript 101, and that will take you to the course. I'd love to see you there. There's actually a 30% discount for listeners of Katie's podcast. So you just, in the promo code, you just say, Katie sent me, and that will give you the 30% off for that. And I'd appreciate if you guys check that out, because it's a lot of fun. And I'm going to be constantly updating this course because Descript is constantly updating.
Because
so
AI is constantly updating.
Oh my gosh. All the time. Like, they didn't have a lot of this stuff that we were talking about today the last time I was on your show. It's all new, and it's continuing to change. So it's really, really cool.
And it's exciting times that we're living in right now. I think that, I feel like I've had a lot of shows where we talk about AI because there's so many new tools that are coming out every day. And these tools, I want to share them with you guys so that you can work smarter, work more efficiently, so that you can focus on growing your business, but use these tools to help you get there. So it's not taking up your whole day. It's not taking up all of your life, because not everybody wants to just be playing on Descript or podcasting or anything every day like you and me, Jeff. So
right, I know. We're a little outliers.
Yes.
There. Yes, exactly.
Well, Jeff, thank you again so much for joining me on Rocky Mountain Marketing. It is always a pleasure to sit down and talk with you. If anybody has not checked out the Social Media Live show, be sure to listen to Jeff's show. It's on LinkedIn and Facebook and X and all the spot and YouTube every single Friday. So be sure to tune into that, and be sure to check out Jeff's course for Descript. Check out Descript. Check out Jeff's course. Like I said, it's been huge with helping me and my team with getting more knowledge for how we use the tool. And yeah, Jeff, as always, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.